Good day, folks. Happy Saturday. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I welcome you to Chamberlain, South Dakota. Now, on the day that I recorded this video, it was, as y'all can see, it was a nice sunny day. And I believe on this day, the temperature was in the mid 80s in July. Basically, this is a very nice small town that does have a waterfront, as you guys will see in a little bit here. So, I made a video on my last video. The video I made, let me see what video that was. The video I made in Mitchell, South Dakota, I mentioned how I was going to kind of lay off some of the data reading, and I was going to just make it more of a type of deal where it kind of felt like you were sitting right by me on the trip. Although I'm going to try my best to do that, I just can't help it. When I do these kind of videos, I'm just, I don't know, I just feel if I don't give you at least some data, for those of you that are interested in moving here, I'm robbing you folks. And that's just how I feel. I thought about it last night, and I'm going to try to make my videos a little bit more exciting the best I can. I'm pretty sure many of you guys realize this by now, but for those of you that don't, I do not have the most exciting personality out here. Now, I've watched plenty of other YouTubers that do content very similar to what I do here, and their channel is a lot bigger than mine. They're more successful, and I'm happy for them. I'm trying to get to that success myself, but at the same time, I also understand that their personality and how they do their content is what it is. My personality and how I do my content is what it is. And I do understand that personality a lot of times does play a significant role in growing a successful YouTube channel, which is why I'm going to work on my delivery, I guess you can say. But at the same time, I am who I am. I've always, for the most part, been a fairly, down-to-earth person. I just have trouble being down to earth while at the same time trying to be funny. I've never been a comedian. I've never been the one to crack jokes, never been good at it. I've always been the kind of person that, if there's data that I want to put out there, if there's a certain type of message I want to deliver, I'm just going to deliver it, and the way it comes out is the way it comes out. That's just who I've always been. I've never been into jokes. Like I said, I'm not a comedian, and I do admit my personality might be a bit on the dull side for YouTube, but that's not going to stop me from not making these videos. I'm going to keep making videos. It is what it is. And I do understand my channel might grow a little slower than other people's channel. But it is what it is. I'm gonna just keep on going. Now I know. Now my channel recently has been growing. And I have been getting more views on the channel. For those of you that have been tuning in and watching my videos, I appreciate every last one of you. I gotta just accept the reality that I am just one of these people that I say what I say, I'll show you what I show you, you see what you see. And I know a lot of times I know a lot of channels, they might go through the hood. And those channels tend to do pretty well too. And I enjoy going through the hood myself. But I also enjoy going through areas like this, nice small town areas. I enjoy driving through rural communities because to me, for those of you that might live in a larger city, or maybe you're contemplating on leaving the city, I just want to show you guys what's out here if you were to make that type of a decision. I mean, when I first started my channel, originally, it was more or less, it was going to be more or less of a nomadic channel, but at the time, the way that I was living my life, I didn't feel I would, I didn't feel I would have enough content to make the channel even somewhat interesting, because a lot of the things that full-time nomads do, I don't do because I'm not a full-time nomad. And then when I got back to Indiana that year, when I got back to Indiana from Montgomery, Alabama, I started off recording areas that were what I would call lower income. Now, when I say lower income, it doesn't always mean bad. I was just simply going to neighborhoods where housing prices were the cheapest. Now, back when I first started this channel, before the housing market got crazy, you were able to buy a house that was fully functionable for $25 to $30 some odd $1,000 on the low end. And I thought it would be neat to show those type of areas for those of you that might be starting out in life, or for those of you that are downsizing and you're looking for a means of affordable housing, because maybe you don't desire to live the nomadic life. Maybe you don't desire to want to have to pay rent for the foreseeable future. But then, as housing prices began to increase to the point of what we're seeing today, many of those same neighborhoods I went through, a couple of years ago, a few years ago in some cases, where you used to be able to buy a house for $30,000 and it'd be turnkey, move-in ready. Many of those same houses are now going for $130,000, and shockingly, there's people out here dumb enough to buy those houses. Now, granted, many of those people are not regular homeowner occupants like me and you. Many of these people are big-time investors that most likely, their portfolio is being leveraged by tons of loans that they've taken out through, multiple banks and financial and mortgage institutions. So it is what it is. So I thought, even if I ran my channel like that, I'm not going to really do any justice to myself or to you people, because what I used to consider affordable is now some of the areas I used to consider affordable, I now would consider a ripoff. And honestly, there's a lot of other parts of the country that I would like to see and visit, and I figure as I go to some of these places, I would like to take you guys with. So although I am trying to grow this channel, although I do desire to make a full-time living eventually off of YouTube, at the same time, I want to still run this channel to where I still have some fun. I'm still traveling in places I want to go. And honestly, like, I know if I went to, let's say, Chicago, or I went to, parts of New York, I could do phenomenal, just due to all the turmoil that's going on in those cities. But right now, I don't feel like going to those places. Right now, I'd rather go to places like these. Places that are nice and quiet, and have places like this. I mean, this is the type of atmosphere that I like. This is what I find. This right here in Chamberlain, South Dakota. These are the kind of areas that I consider a vacation spot. I mean, me personally, like I said, I've never been a fan of large cities. I mean, I know there's a lot of folks out here that, their idea of a vacation is to go to Florida, or summer. It might be to go to New York, to one of the cities, that is. Now me, my idea of a vacation is to go to smaller communities like this one. And if I can find like maybe a small river, I mean, if I can find like a decent sized body of water within a smaller community, you know, if I'm able to rent me a canoe and go kayaking, I mean, that, to me, that's gonna be my idea of a vacation. I mean, to me, going to a bigger city, spending tons of money, and having to look around for a place to park, and then when I find parking, I gotta pay $30 to park a freaking vehicle, and then even after that, I still gotta fight tons of traffic, and I'm running into all kinds of people, and people have all type of issues, attitude problems, and the list goes on and on of some of the issues that plague many of your larger cities. I'd rather come to a smaller community like this one and just take it slow, take in the scenery, enjoy driving through these small communities, and maybe, like I said, go kayaking in the water. I mean, like where I live right now, I'm gonna be honest, I'm afraid to go kayaking because where I live, we got alligators. So, you know, that's the thing about living where I'm living. I mean, I keep talking about the fact that I'm not too far from the beaches, which I'm not, but at the same time, given that where I'm at, we got alligators, I do think about that. And of course, even when I go to the beach, I know if I get too far out, then you gotta deal with the sharks and other type of aquatic creatures that could hurt you. As where if I'm up here and I'm playing in the water, I don't gotta deal with alligators, don't have to deal with snakes, and you're not gonna have to deal with no sharks. And that's one thing which I've been, and also when I was up here in South Dakota, I also enjoyed the fact that I enjoyed the weather. Like I told you guys in previous videos, I enjoyed the fact that I can come out here, you know, get a little bit of sun on me, you know, get some of that vitamin D without having to sweat bullets, without getting attacked by all kind of mosquitoes. I mean, look at this beautiful scenery. Look at this. I mean, I know some of you, you know, you're probably looking at this and you're probably like, yeah, whatever, who cares? Where is the buildings? Where is the fun? Where is the people? Where is the excitement? Me? Hey man, quite frankly, fuck all that. This right here is the type of entertainment that I'm on. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna, you know, like I said, I'm trying to make this channel more exciting, but at the same time, I'm not gonna take away who I am in the name of growing the channel. I'm gonna do what I can do to grow this channel and to make it more exciting for those of you that prefer to watch. But I'm gonna still be who I am on this platform. I'm not gonna change who I am, which means I'm not gonna change the places I go visit. I mean, these are the kind of places that I enjoy driving through, and these are the kind of places I'm gonna continue to go through. It is what it is. Alright, so anyhow, Chamberlain, South Dakota is going to be located towards the southeastern region of the state. I would say it's going to be more south than southeast. And, you know, let's look something up here. Let's see how far it is from Sioux Falls. Second here, people. Gotta take care of one little thing real quick. Chamberlain, South Dakota to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Chamberlain, South Dakota to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Okay, this phone's acting all funny. Typing it manually. Okay, well, Sioux Falls is 2 hours from here. It's gonna be the closest metro city to this, to Chamberlain and Sioux Falls, which is 2 hours. All right, so you're 2 hours from Sioux Falls at this point. So not that Sioux Falls is a bad city, not that Sioux Falls is, but for those that really don't want to be around larger cities, if you come out here for a vacation or you come out here to reside, you're gonna be a little over 2 hours from the closest city, which is the closest major city, which is Sioux Falls. So I would say this is definitely going to be a good place to come visit if you're looking to get away to a place that's slow pace, but yet, easy on the eyes. Come out here, you're not going to have to worry about looking at a bunch of urban decay. They're definitely not going to be what I would consider country hood out here. Now, if you don't know what I mean by country hood, it means basically what it means. Basically, it's an area that's rural, but with a significant amount of urban decay. So if you still don't know what I mean, go back to my channel and pull up a lot of my videos that I made in many of the smaller towns in Alabama and in Georgia, and then you'll have an idea of what I mean when I talk about country hood. Anyways, now I did make a quick video, when I was up here. I want to say that video was posted about a month or so, give or take, to where I did drive around I think it was like a resort that was around this area. It's on the channel. It was a 13-minute and 24-second video. I drove around Cedar Shore. It was a Cedar Shore Marina area. That's what that video was, which is just outside the Chamberlain. Where I'm at right now, technically this is not in the city limits of Chamberlain. This is the area. This area is a little bit outside Chamberlain, if I can remember correctly. In fact, I got this. I think what happened was I did a video of this on my cell phone, and then I came and I also at the same time used my camera to record, just to give you guys some better footage. That's what happened, now that I think about it. So on this video, you're going to get Chamberlain, South Dakota, and you're also going to get some of the areas outside Chamberlain. Which is why the video is over an hour long. And another thing is, when I come to these small towns, maybe I get too carried away, but I come to these small towns and I see what I see. I like what I see, and I'm thinking, okay, well, if I'm intrigued by what I see, then somebody else out here might be intrigued. And you know, and I mean, and that's basically how I've been running my channel. And of course, let's see here. Let me get back to my 1 second here. Alright, so anyhow, Chamberlain, South Dakota. It's got a population of 2,473 people. Let's see here. It doesn't tell me whether or rather not the population is growing or... Hold on 1 second. Okay, the population has grown in the city of Chambers by 3.6%, so it is a growing community. It's not growing fast, but it's growing. It's definitely not shrinking. I mean, for those that desire to live in the northern Midwestern region of the country, I mean, I would say the only bad thing about living out here is going to be come winter time when it snows. I mean, typically in a lot of these rural areas, snow plows typically are not going to come around here like they do in the cities. Maybe somebody can drop a comment below and let me know how all that works out here. Now, obviously, on major roads like the one I'm on now, the plows will come out. But on a lot of your dirt roads, a lot of times the plows are not gonna. I mean, they'll come out eventually, but it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be right away. At least in many other places I lived in throughout the Midwest, that's how it's been. So maybe somebody can drop a comment below and let me know how that goes. Now, of course, just like anywhere else. Oh, by the way, in a minute here, we're gonna be right now. I'm crossing the Missouri River, and as soon as I get across this bridge, we're gonna be back into the Chamberlain City. We're gonna be back in Chamberlain City, the town of Chamberlain. That's what I meant to say. Sorry. And right now I'm crossing over the Missouri River. And let's keep going. So Chamberlain is a home to the South Dakota Hall of Fame and the 50-foot tall dignity statue is nearby. I'm gonna be honest with you people. I think I may have driven by that statue. At this point, I can't quite remember. Okay, Chamberlain was named after Selah, S-E-L-A-H, Selah Chamberlain, a railroad director of the Chicago, Milwaukee, and St. Paul Railway, as it was established by European Americans in relation to construction of the railroad. The city is called Earth Drilling in Lakota. According to the United States Census Bureau, the city has a total of 7.84 square miles, of which 6.64 square miles is land, and 1.2 square miles is water. For those of you that care about that type of information, I thought I'd just share it anyway. As you guys will see on this video, the main, Interstate 90, as well as Interstate 90 business loop is that's gonna be the main road, if you will, that's in this city. Well, actually, the main road that's in the city is going to be South Dakota Highway 50, and then of course you're going to be close by to Interstate 90, and then of course I-90 business loop will go through town here. Let's see here. Yeah, I just can't help myself. I mean, I love driving through these little small rural communities like this. I mean, sometimes you come out to these communities, you see vehicles that you may have not seen in forever. I mean, one thing was I find kind of amazing is when I was up here in the Dakotas, I saw vehicles that I haven't seen on the road since I would say since the late 90s. Like up here, I still see people driving around in 1980s cars. Like, for an example, in Sioux Falls, there was a couple of people that I saw driving in a Chevy Celebrity. Now, for those of you that are in your 30s, you probably don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But for those of you that are around my age, you remember back when you was a kid, they had a Chevy Celebrity, which that's the type of car that Chevy made before they discontinued it, and then they replaced it with the Chevy Illumina, which came out, the first model came out in 1990. And fast forwarding to today, your Chevy Malibu would be the closest resemblance to the Chevy Celebrity back in the 80s. And of course, up here, I did see a fair amount of 1970s Ford F-150s, along with the 1980s model Ford F-150s. And there were a lot of other older vehicles I saw that were on the road. And on top of that, the body was even in decent condition. Now, given that they get a fair amount of snow up here in South Dakota, I guess either A, the people who own those vehicles, maybe they only drive them around in the summer, and during the winter they have another car that they drive around, or two, they just keep on top of their vehicle maintenance. I don't know. I just find it kind of amazing how you come up here, you got cars that are older than many of you. I mean, that you got vehicles that are like built back in the 80s and they're still up and going, and the bodies don't even look bad. Alright, so if you want to live here in Chamberlain, mean, I'm still driving the country part of the area still. But anyhow, if you want to live in Chamberlain, the median home price is $159,000. So, from a numeric standpoint, housing prices out here do appear to be affordable. But in a minute here, I'm going to jump on realtor.com and see what's actually for sale. Let's see what else is going on. Okay. Well, according to the data here, crime is a bit on the high side. So, I was thinking in a community like this, your crime would be extra low. But I'm gonna do some calculations for you folks, and this is the reason why I'm gonna continue to put out data. Now that the data that's presented is always gonna be accurate, because in certain communities, the crime might be lower because many people don't bother to report the crime to the authorities for one reason or another. So you gotta bear that in mind when you go through some of these communities. Let's see here. Okay, so your violent crime here is 56% above the national average when it comes to violent crime. Now, calculate property crime real quick. Alright, property crime is 41% above national average. I'm not gonna lie to you people, those numbers surprised me a little bit. Now, I could be wrong, but just judging off of what I see here, I'm gonna go on a limb and assume that the majority of your violent crimes are probably domestic. That's what I assume. Because honestly, when I drive around, I don't see any signs of anything sinister going on. I mean, I don't see a bunch of buildings with graffiti. I don't see a bunch of vandalism. I don't see a bunch of people walking around all zombied out. So I'm going to assume the bulk of your violent crimes is most likely domestic. As far as a higher than average property crime, I'm not going to lie to you folks, I wouldn't know where that comes from. I mean, I guess looks can be deceiving, but maybe out here they do have an issue with theft. I mean, I don't know what else to. I mean, I'm gonna just guess maybe out here they got an issue with theft. I did take a little bit of time when I was out here. I did walk around downtown a little bit just to get a little bit of exercise and get a little bit of sun on me. I mean, the downtown area, in my opinion, was nice. The people appear to be nice. So, yeah, I'm going to just say violent crime is most likely domestic, and property crime, maybe they just got an issue with theft. Okay, your racial demographics are 76% white, 16.6% Native American. I mean, I kind of knew when I was here that this community did have a sizable Native American population. And I've been told by several people here throughout the state of South Dakota that the further you get towards the rest of the state, and also in some of these smaller rural communities, you'll have a slightly higher Native American population than you will in some of the areas that are further east in the state. You got 4% Hispanic population. I mean, and those are going to be your major ethnic groups: Native American, Hispanic, and of course white. And if you're able to find a place out here to rent, median rent prices are from $560 to $1,380 a month. And that's if you can find a place in this small town. Let's see, what do they got going on for entertainment here? Well, no, first we're going to look at houses. We can't worry about entertainment until we get you into a house first. So let's look at houses. Chamberlain, South Dakota. Alrighty. The cheapest house that they currently have on the market here in Chamberlain will give you back $105,000. There's not a whole lot of houses for sale right now. There's only 6 houses. There's only 6 single family homes for sale. The cheapest one is $105,000. And after that, the next cheapest is going to be $195,000. And then from that point, the rest of the houses that are for sale, you're going to be looking at over 200 grand. It's going to do it for housing as far as what's currently for sale. South Dakota. Okay. Oh, this is a small town. Don't let the small town fool you. When it comes to entertainment, there's plenty to do around here. It's not going to be the kind of entertainment that some of you younger folk might want, but for those of us that prefer a chilled, low-key type of vacation, or if you're looking to move somewhere, you prefer a low-key, small town atmosphere. I would say this community would definitely be a solid choice, provided that you don't mind being further away from larger cities. Got the licated Museum. Let's see, that's one place you can go and visit. And I believe I drove right by the museum on this video. I mean, you'll see it on the video later. I drove I drove through the parking area just to show you guys. Okay, you got Dignity, the best rest stop. Inspiring art, learn about history. They got a picnic area and it's pet friendly. I don't think I may have missed that when I was up here. You got the Chamberlain, Lewis, and Clark Welcome Center and Rest Area. That's at the rest stop. You got the South Dakota Hall of Fame. You got the American Legion Memorial Bridge. That's the bridge that crosses over the Missouri River. That was crossing over earlier. Okay, you got, and of course, if you choose to hang out downtown, you do have a fair amount of little shops that you can go visit, buy stuff. You have your little, places where you can stop in and grab you a bite to eat. Typical downtown stuff. So I would say if you're into outdoor activities and you're looking to enjoy the outdoors, especially this time of the year, they do have a fair amount of outdoor activities here in Chamberlain where you can enjoy the water, whether you want to, maybe go boating or canoeing, or you just want to just sit by the water at the table and have a picnic. But yeah, I would say, like I said, I don't know. I mean, although I cannot stand cold weather during the winter, I mean, I drive through a lot of these small towns, and I don't know, it's just, despite the inconveniences of living in a small town, especially when you live up here come winter time, I just, I just enjoy driving through them and looking at the different houses, looking at the landscape, looking at the engineering of the town. I mean, I just enjoy small towns. I just enjoy driving through small towns so much more than driving through larger cities. Because I feel when I drive through a smaller town like this, I can relax, I can take it slow. I can kind of take my time. There's not going to be people behind me rushing me. I don't have to worry so much about people that want to drive crazy. I think you guys get what I'm saying. Alright folks, that's going to do it for my commentary. I'm going to let you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Hopefully you got something out of it. So drop a comment below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider doing that. And while you're at it, you can go ahead and give this video and my other videos a thumbs up to help with the YouTube algorithm. Alright folks, everybody have a blessed one. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I will see you on the next one.